Welcome parents, uncles and aunts to this review, where we're gonna find if your children should play Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. We're gonna dive in on the gameplay mechanics, story, presentation, and most of all, what kind of experience would you and your children might get from this game. Let's start. Back in the 90s, British studio Rare developed some of the most fun and iconic games for the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo 64, and Star Fox Adventures for the GameCube. Then, Microsoft bought the studio and a new not-so-great history for Rare started at that point, with Grave by the Ghoulies and Viva Piñata. But a couple of years ago, the people who created those classic 90s games got back together, founded a new studio called Playtonic Games, and with the help of thousands of backers on Kickstarter, they developed Yooka-Laylee, a 3D platformer in the likes of Banjo-Kazooie. That game was received with mixed reviews. It had potential, but wasn't very polished. Playtonic didn't give up and then created a spin-off, more on the likes of 2D platformers like Donkey Kong Country. The result was Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, launched on November 2019. Since then, the game has been very well received by the public, especially the ones who miss that kind of platforming action. But does this game can appeal to newer generations? Would children from these days could love it? Or is it just a good trip of nostalgia that can only be appreciated by 90s kids? Capital B, the main villain from the past game, is back, and he wants to enslave the bees of the Royal Stingdom. Queen Phoebe asks for your help, and the only way to stop Capital B is to complete the long, terrifying and hardcore Impossible Lair. The game starts on the hardest level. 2 strikes or just one fall through a pit and you're over. But don't worry, it's expected from you to fail at this level, because after failing, Queen Phoebe will set you on the real adventure. Go and explore the Royal Stingdom, find the chapters and rescue the battalions who have been imprisoned by Capital B. As you may notice by now, the game is full with puns, which are probably the main kind of jokes that dads do. I know I love them. The experience divides into 2 kinds of gameplay: the 2D platformer levels, where most of the action takes place, and the overworld, where the game changes to a top-down view and focus on exploration and puzzle solving. In the overworld, you are going to meet all sorts of goofy characters that will help you, as long as you help them. By doing so, you are going to get access to more and more chapters. There is 1 battalion at the end of every level. For each battalion rescued, you can take 1 strike at the Impossible Lair. So, for you to make possible the Impossible Lair, you have to rescue a lot of battalions throughout the Royal Stingdom. The relation between the overworld and the 2D levels stands out from other games because you can do some things on the first one that will affect the second one. Let me explain. Each level has 2 versions of itself. One can be called the standard version, and the other one depends on things you do on the overworld. This is key to understand the charm of Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. The 2 versions of every level are different enough that they truly feel like 2 distinct platforming challenges. For example, take this funny level with deadly chainsaws and really pretty interiors. It's probably on Home Improvement. But after you spill some honey on the chapter, you may play through it once again, and the honey will have changed the route, the difficulty, and will open new areas. So, each level has 2 versions, and at the end of each one, you'll find 1 battalion. So, there are 2 battalions for each chapter. There are other 3 main collectibles on the game: Quills, Tweet Coins, and Tonics. Let's view them quickly. Quills are like coins in Super Mario, bananas in Donkey Kong, or rings in Sonic the Hedgehog. There are a lot of them in every level, and there are some in the overworld. There are the main currency of the game and will serve you to open new paths and to buy tonics. Tweet coins are only found inside the levels. There are 5 of them hidden in each one, and they serve to pay Trouser, a greedy but funny snake wearing pants. See? This game is funny. Once you pay him the amount of tweet coins that he wants, he then removes doors in the overworld, cleverly called paywalls. That way, you may continue exploring the overworld. The other collectible are Tonics. These are found in the overworld, but are used in the 2D levels. Each one has a different effect on your gameplay. That can be static can increase the difficulty or lower it. You can activate up to 3 tonics at a time, and depending on the effect of the tonics, the total amount of quills that you collected will be multiplied or reduced. For example, you can make Yuka have more seconds of invincibility after he gets hit. You can make Lele don't be so erratic on her flight, so it gets easier to catch her. Believe me, you're going to need this one, because Lele tends to fly to the worst places on the screen. Sometimes it's better to get her back using the bells that serves like the DK barrels in Donkey Kong Country. With the tonics, you can also give the enemies funny googly eyes that help them resist 2 hits instead of 1. You can change the ratio of the screen, make it look like a film noir or even a Game Boy game with all the green and black style that any 90s kids can recognize. But you have to pay a certain amount of quills to unlock it. Don't worry. Once you paid for the tonic, you can use it as many times you want in any level you want. There are so many tonics to be found, and many of them are just for the lols, but they also make the adventure more flexible. The game can be harder or easier because of fat tonics. In some levels, there are secret exits. These will take you to an unreachable place in the overworld where a trap battalion waits to be rescued. Pay attention to the overworld map and the levels to find these exits. You also find pages in the overworld that give you a quick challenge. If you win, they will use their almighty pagey power to alter the overworld, so you take new paths and get on with the adventure. All this is going to help you get enough battalions so you can conquer the impossible lair. But keep in mind that you don't need to find every battalion in the game to go back to the impossible lair. You can try as many times as you want and whenever you feel ready. You can even try to conquer the impossible lair without any battalion, if that is your sort of thing. That is, on general terms, the experience that Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair offers. But should your children play it? This game is appropriate for all ages. It has the vibe of a Saturday morning cartoon, and humor is one of its main components. Pun after pun, mixed with charming animation, lovable characters, and cute but sometimes annoying voice sounds. There is really no need for someone to read dialogues or to understand the plot to enjoy this game. You can skip it and have fun with exploration, puzzles, and platforming. Music is what gives this game most appeal. I have been playing this game for some weeks now, and my girlfriend is the one who starts singing the charming melodies all day. The controls are really simple: jump, roll, attack, grab things with Yuka's tongue, and the combination of them are the only moves that you need to know. The game has no multiplayer, but that doesn't mean you can't play it with your family. It is an amazing 2D platformer. I think it's one of the best on the market right now. If you grew up with the original DKC trilogy, you will enjoy this one. It could also help you introduce your kids to this kind of experience. The possibility to adjust the difficulty by using tonics is a great help for beginners. I recommend to play Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair with your kids, and passing over the control each time someone fails, or at the end of the level, or one of you can play the overworld parts while the other one plays the 2D levels. Just don't be that kind of parent or uncle or cousin that takes over the control and expect them to just sit and watch. If your kids know this genre, thanks to games like Super Mario or Shovel Knight, you can sit next to them and watch them play. Cheer them up when they fail. Give them advice. Help them find the secret coins and exits. Some levels are really hard, and they might frustrate and get angry. It's nice to have someone giving you company, helping you relax, and motivating you to try one more time. Ask them if they would like you to help them. Maybe by playing that one part where they get defeated. One thing I would like to emphasize: let them play the way they want to play it. Do not force them to play without using tonics or skipping to the next checkpoint. If they want to use those tools, it's okay. I know that some people think that using these things is like cheating, but it isn't. They make the experience enjoyable and more accessible for everyone. If you want to motivate your children to play it without using tonics or skipping hard parts, let them watch you play and finish the level. Let them see you fail and try again. If you force them to play on hardest difficulty, it can ruin the fun that this game offers. You don't need to get every single collectible on every level. If you have enough quills and tweet coins to progress, Keep going until you think you are ready for the final level. Ask your children what they want to do next. If they want to try another level, it's okay too. If they are tired of trying to find a secret exit or tweet coin, it's fine. Let them choose what they want to do and ask them what do they want to do next. Try finishing the game together. You may take turns, or you can watch them play till the end. It is very important to be there when they try to conquer the impossible lair, the toughest challenge of the game. When they get to the final battle and win, hugs and cheers will mean a lot for them. It's something that they will want to share with someone that understands how hard that level was. So, to recap, should your children play it? Yes. At what age? I think from 6 years old can be a good start. The controls are simple to understand with basic jumps and attacks. The puzzles are easy enough to be solved in 1 or 2 minutes. Will they like it? If they are into platforming games like Super Mario, Sonic, Donkey Kong, yeah, I think they will. This is not a high-packed action game, it is more focused on fun and charm, and it is not too complex. It can be hard, but you can lower the difficulty. How? Play together, taking turns. Decide who plays what. Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair is available on Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Windows. Thank you so much for watching. This is my first video. It's a project that I've been thinking about for the last months, with the purpose of starting a conversation about video games from the perspective of people with children and how they can help to strengthen the relationship with them. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this video and channel. If you have any suggestions, I will be happy to read them. It will help me a lot if you give this video a like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Have a good day and have fun. Bye!